2, 1. Hey, folks, welcome to Bouncing Brains. We are here on a beautiful Monday morning or afternoon. Like I said, I haven't slept a whole lot. Was it November 18th, 2019? Just in case you thought we were pulling some Back to the Future type of shit. I'm Sean Hatfield.
And I'm Freddy G.
Joining
How y'all doing?
How are you fucking doing? Leave a message in the comments. Joining us down the podcast, we have the host of Jackal's Corner, Steve Longoria.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
How you doing, Steve? I wanted to get right into it, man. But before I do, I had actually ran into you a couple of times. I'm gonna be completely fucking honest with you right now. I ran into you a couple of times. The first time I ran into you, I believe it was at Cine El Rey.
Yeah.
But I didn't know who you were. Like, I knew, but I didn't know you were like a host of Jackal's Corner
Right.
and everything. But I had seen you there, and then I think I saw you twice there. And it wasn't until I ran into you at Stokely's that I was like, holy shit, man. So I was finally able to, reach out to you and everything. Yeah. Even when I saw you that night, man, I was like, I wasn't too sure because I'm still that kind of person, even though we host this shit and we have to bring guests in and everything. But I'm still very hesitant of like asking people, that have a creative art and a following and everything,
right,
to like, hey man, come on my podcast and shit. It's just kind of weird to me, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, should I do it? Should I not? And then I was like, this dude doesn't even fucking know me, and I was like, you know what, man, fuck it. What's the worst that he could say? No. So I was like, all right, cool. So that's why I decided to approach you. And what I wanted to ask you, just before we get started and everything, for the people that don't know, and maybe some shit I probably still don't know, is what is Jackal's Corner and where and how did it start?
Well, Jackal's Corner is my podcast on RGV Titan Radio. It's Thursdays at 8 o'clock. Essentially, it's a place that anybody who has a thing to say for the scene or any way to support the scene, they're welcome on there. It doesn't matter if you're a musician or an artist, a poet, anything. If you want to come on Jackal's Corner, you are welcome to come on Jackal's Corner.
Well, shit, man. It's kind of like what we do, you know what I'm saying? Then
pretty much.
That's pretty fucking cool. And I like the way you just laid out the invitation. Anybody that would like to come on and everything. Shout out to our platform, man. We just joined recently. We started doing this independently. I mean, we still kind of are doing it independently, but we Fred and Sebi brought us on recently, so we're glad to be part of the Titan Radio brand and everything.
Yeah,
it's helped us, and we just kind of like Sebi and Fred said as well. They want to continue to grow. Hopefully, we can help them grow and keep bringing something to the table. And the way they support us as well. I know that Fred and Sebi have plans in the works. They've told me very little, but I mean they're headed in the right direction. They know what they're doing, so I'm just glad to have people like that, around us and everything. So
yes.
How did you let's share ideas, man. Like,
yeah, definitely.
How did you come up with the? I mean, it may seem like a very simple concept, but like, how did you come up with the idea? Like, what sparked the idea to begin Jackal's Corner?
Well, I've always had a love for music. Yeah. Ever since I was little, I've been in music. I've done music, and being that my illnesses with all my heart and stuff won't allow me to get on stage anymore because of they've told me if I get too much adrenaline in me, it could cause my heart to stop. So, no more being on stage. So,
all right, so we need to keep them cool, calm, and collected. So cocaine's out of the question.
Dang.
Okay.
But
do you mind sharing some of like your health?
No, I don't mind at all. So I have congestive heart failure, and I've had 7 heart attacks.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So like 7. And I'm sorry if I don't say this right. I'm not a medical professional.
Yeah.
But 7 legitimate
heart attacks. Yes.
What the
I have,
fuck, bro?
I have a pacemaker in everything like that. So, well, I have a
Holy
pacemaker defibrillator.
shit. Well, so hold on, because now you fucking triggered my brain, or the half a brain that I have, because I have conditions too. So, 7 heart attacks. Where was I going with it? 7 heart attacks, and you like. Well, first of all, I'm gonna get in, if you don't mind sharing. How old are you?
Me, actually, I turned 39 on the 4th of December.
Holy fuck, dude! You're fucking young, dude.
Yeah,
How old were you when you had the first one?
30.
Fuck. And then, like, is this just like, is it gonna continue to happen?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, once you have one heart attack, you've already weakened your heart. So the amount that I've had, they say my heart is the equivalent of like an 80-year-old man.
So, again, I'm not a medical professional or anything, but like, is a transplant an option? Or
Well,
not?
they have me on the stuff.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
on there.
And that shit's expensive. of
Well,
course.
not only that, the waiting list is insane. It's insane. It's insane. Like,
and like the waiting list, like, how does it work? Is it like? Well, I mean, I know it's a waiting list, but is it a waiting list just for the U.S. or is it fucking?
yeah, every region has its own. So you're gonna have like all the people in the southern regions, Texas, Alabama, Georgia, all that are in one region. So they're in one department.
Oh shit! You said Texas, so it's like regions by states.
Well, regions by like northern side of United States, East Coast, West Coast.
That's what. Well,
Yeah.
Holy shit! That's fucked up. But still a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of people, and if you think about it, it's a lot more than that. Because, say for instance, they find a match, and you are next in line. If somebody else that is like in society's world more important, then they'll give it to them. So, say a famous person.
So if Rockefeller was still fucking alive,
right,
you'd be fucked.
exactly.
Fuck, dude.
So it's not a guarantee, and they even tell you be prepared to probably never get a heart because it's very unlikely, and it just depends on what you're needing donated.
Yeah.
You know what part you need, because like your heart, there's so many of people that have heart problems, especially in America.
I like the way you put that, especially in America. You got a
You know.
fucking fast food joint in every corner, so yeah, that
Yeah.
kind of explains.
But with
I
mine,
thought he meant the sin of capitalism, but whatever.
a little of both. So that's my thing, but mine's genetic. I was born just sick.
That's where my next question was gonna
Yeah.
go. Like, was it something? Because I was gonna say, man, so kind of in a sense, it's gonna sound totally fucked up, but in a sense, like every day you wake up wishing a motherfucker would die, right? And then eventually,
Well, with mine is this. I look at it as this. I don't plan on ever having this happen. I don't in life. I plan on living my life as happy as I can and living my life day to day because I can't change what has happened. All I can do is change my future, and that's it. That's it. That's all I have control of. So
Wow.
it doesn't mess with me at all anymore. I've learned to adapt to it, being that I've been sick since I was a child. So I've learned to just say, it's just another bump in my road. I could at least I'm still breathing. At least I'm able to get around somewhat. And at least I'm not to a point where I'm stuck in my home and I can never leave my home and have all these machines to keep me alive.
yeah.
Right.
Do you have kids?
I have 2 stepchildren.
Okay.
They're both grown up and
Gotcha.
on their
So you're
own.
married and shit.
Oh yeah, I've been married
So
for 16 years.
that just makes automatically it'll fucking make your heart older, bro, just by default.
Oh yeah.
Shit, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Since we're in this conversation, I had no idea you were gonna. I had no idea about your condition. None of that shit. The reason I bring it up is because I think it's fair to say I had a really shitty day today. Like really shitty. At least I thought it was shitty. But just now with what you said, you made me feel a lot better, bro.
Good deal, man.
Because like I did, man. Like like I'm not gonna go through the whole fucking mishap of my day or anything, because it's pointless. But from like when I woke up at 5, I went to the gym or whatever. Like from 7 a.m. till like 2 hours ago, it would just continue to get shitty and shitty and I got to the point today where like I was pulling up to the house and I started bitching, I started bitching, clearly bitching because of everything that had happened already in the day,
Mm-hmm.
and oh fuck it, I'll say it, because I kind of feel weird now.
Where'd you bury the hooker?
Nah, because I literally said to myself when I was in the car, fuck it, I said it, I when I was in the car, I said to myself, I was like, fuck, it'd be better if I wasn't here, because that's how I felt.
Right.
And then shortly after that, something clicked in my brain, and I told myself, dude, like, there's people that have it worse than you, There's people that, I literally said, there's people that do not know if they're going to live the next day or not today, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I thought because either they have a terminal condition like cancer or some shit, and you're bitching about something that eventually it'll go away,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in a couple of years, but it'll go away. And well, now you fucking tell me that you have 7 heart attacks, and I kind of feel like shit now, because I was bitching over something that, there's a fix to it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a fix too, but
Yeah.
yours is, you understand what the fuck I'm
Yeah,
saying.
definitely.
Like Michael said to Paul, get in line, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, thanks, man.
No problem. No problem at all.
Thank you for that. Holy shit. See, I knew we did this for a reason.
For your free therapy sessions? Yeah. No, we talked about that already.
So going back to, man, it's crazy, dude. Like your condition, the way you handle it, and the way you go about it. If I had a hat, man, I would take it off to you, because it takes a lot of balls to have that outlook, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have cerebral palsy, and like, I'm not gonna die. Well, I mean, I'm gonna die eventually, but I'm not gonna die from it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And even I've told Sean before that, even like, I used to, I mean, I haven't done this in a long time, but I used to complain because I can't do certain shit that other people can and whatnot. But then you run into people like you, and y'all deal with different situations in a different way, and you have such a calm and positive outlook on it that it makes you realize that you're gonna be fine. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Now, and I'm sure, because I want to jump back into Jackal's corner, but like, I'm guessing you take certain medications and shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
Or all kinds of medications.
Well, supposed to, but I just take weed.
Is that thing dipping on you, man?
Huh?
Is that dipping
Yeah.
on you?
Yeah. That's the dipper, huh? Yeah. That happens, bro.
It's okay.
Yeah, those are the only ones you got.
There we go.
Yeah. So, you take certain like a shitload of medications.
Well, yeah, I take all kinds of heart medicines, but now I take more blood thinners and.
Now, is there a certain diet that you have?
No, not really. Because I exercise.
So you work out?
Yeah.
So wait, hold on. So then you can work out, even though
I'm
it
not
makes,
supposed to work out, but I do because I'd rather that than
then
all these medicines that I would have to
Okay.
take.
Like
So-
you said, you don't want to be on the couch having to worry
Yeah.
about the outside interference.
So
Yeah.
so I'm a little bit more curious about that. So the doctor said you shouldn't work out.
Yeah, they
right?
say I shouldn't, but it hasn't affected me any. Actually, since I started working out, I haven't had another heart attack since then.
What was the last time you had one?
The last one I had was about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
That's when I got this.
The stint.
No, the defibrillator.
Okay. So but you're saying that working out helps you.
Yeah.
too. And I'm guessing because I'm guessing you do a lot of like running and cardio and shit like that.
Yeah.
So because I've read a lot because I started working out a lot to lose weight
Yeah.
because I had like high blood pressure and all that shit.
Right.
I have since like regulated all my shit. I've lost over 40 pounds and all that shit.
Right.
And I've come off all my medication. But I've read extensively on like the cardio
cardiovascular,
workout and stuff, and it says that it does strengthen your heart.
Yeah.
So have you seen how long have you been working out?
Well, about a month or two after my last heart attack, I started doing it. So about a year and a half.
So you got about the same time in that I got.
Yeah.
So have you noticed? Have you had regular checkups?
Yeah. I see a cardiologist every month, and
Okay.
then I also have a primary care.
So have they noticed a positive change in?
Well, he just says that my cardio is a little stronger in the way that I can do a little more, but he's like, your heart's never gonna be repaired. He's like, it's dead. Essentially, it's literally dead in there. It's not doing nothing. It's just a certain portion. So
there's only a part of your heart that's working.
still pumping. Yeah.
Holy shit, that's kind of like my brain, Sean. Yeah, because like with cerebral palsy, I mean, I don't know if you know, but
Yeah.
So, like in a sense, half my brain is dead.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the part that's dead is the one that helps you with like the motor skills and some of the learning abilities. That's why I developed ADD and I'm dyslexic and all kinds of shit
Right.
like that. I was supposed to be like mentally retarded or like mentally slow, which at some point Sean questions that sometimes. But
I didn't say a damn thing.
but but like I developed like those learning disabilities or whatever. So but the part that does work is like I can still move and maneuver and talk
Right.
and shit like that. But with your heart, you're saying also it's just part of your heart that's working.
Yeah.
And the rest is just there.
Just there.
Where I was going with it was that like with my brain, there was no sense in like removing it.
Yeah.
And if they did remove it or try to remove it, they would run the risk of like fucking something else up.
Right.
So that's why, in a sense, they were like, well, it's just dead. It's just taking up space. But I mean, it's fine because it's not doing anything. So just leave it there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which, in a sense, I'm kind of glad for that because it fucking gave me a whole comedy career. So
There you go.
I don't think it would ever be the same if what am I supposed to do? Tell regular jokes? No, but yeah, man, it's. I'm sorry if we went on a tangent like on your condition and stuff, but
We motherfucker.
or if I exactly if I went on a tangent, it's just every time I hear, and it's very few and far fetched, but every time that I hear a story like that, I mean, it may be insignificant to you because you deal with it every day. It's happened to me because I've had a couple of people tell me, like, it's inspirational to see you, and it's like, dude, I'm telling dick jokes. That's all the fuck I'm doing, you know what I mean? But when I hear like from people like you and the way you describe your situation and the outlook that you have is just it is inspiring, man. So again, I'd like to thank you for that, and then just in this small portion of the conversation, if it means anything to you, I just want you to know that you made a small difference, at least in my attitude and the way I felt earlier. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem, man.
So going back to Jackal's Corner, how did you come up with the concept of?
Well, Jackal's Corner, I named it after a guy I knew.
There was a guy named Jackal.
Yeah,
That's a pretty badass name.
well, that was his rap tag.
Oh,
His real name is Johnny Rivera, or Sick Mayhem. And he recently passed away February 4th of this year.
oh shit.
And so, in order to honor his name for him and for his family that he's left behind, I named it Jackal's Corner because he was a guy who supported the arts. He supported the scene. And I wanted to keep his name alive in the scene and keep people remembering everything that he was about, which was about the music. So
Yeah.
I figured what better name to give it than somebody who supported it like that.
Yeah, yeah. And you have the concept of it being like a normal, like long form type of conversation, right?
Yeah,
Podcast.
yeah.
So, how did you materialize it? Did you just like go yourself and buy a whole bunch of equipment and be like,
Well, no, actually, the guy, Fred, he actually came to me and was like, "Hey, would you like a podcast?" And I was like, "Sure."
Fred?
Yeah.
Fred?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
He
had-
went to you and he was like, "Would you like a podcast?"
Yeah, I've never done this before until then. I've never been on radio. I've never done any of this. And then he was like, "Would you like one?" And he's like, "You just got to come up with your own concept of
What do
you
you
want.
think? What do you think intrigued Fred to approach you?
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I know people in the scene so well. I'm out there supporting it like crazy. So I think he was just thinking, well, it kind of makes sense to bring a guy that everybody knows already, and he already knows the bands and can already bring people in. So, I mean, it makes sense. And I didn't really sit and think about why. I was just thinking, holy crap, now I finally have the chance to give all these musicians a spot, somewhere they can call home, where they can just be themselves, speak their mind, not have no censorship, not have none of that, just whatever the hell you want to say, you could finally say,
Yeah.
you know? And that's the whole basis of it. That's the only thing I've ever thought about for it. I've had people come to me and tell me, "Hey, man, like, I'll pay you if you come and do a podcast with me on Jackal's Corner. Just do Jackal's Corner with us." And I don't care about the money part. I don't, because it's about getting all these artists out there.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters to me at the end of the day. I have my income that comes in. And anybody who knows, if you're starting out podcasts, especially independent podcasting or anything in a small budget like this area, you have to have your own income coming in, because there ain't no real income coming in.
Yeah, exactly. We've had this conversation over like the past 3 episodes or whatever, to where there is some friends of mine that listen to this podcast or watch the podcast or whatever, and some of them have asked me. They were like, "Hey man, so how's the money? Like, it must be good money because y'all do it weekly." And they trip out when I tell them, "Hey bro, there's no money." And as soon as I tell them that there's no money, there's like, "Bro, so why do you do it?" I was like, "Bro, because it's fun and I got shit to say, and because initially I wanted to be in radio. Those have been my two. I sound like a broken fucking record because, like I said, I've said it like 10 times on the podcast. Like, my 2 biggest dreams were always to do comedy and work in radio. Then I found out just how much the fucking FCC sucks. So I was like, well, fuck that. I don't want to do radio anymore. And then I discovered, podcasting, and I discovered that there's no filter and there's no real control over, a bigger authority or whatever you want to call it. And I was like, well, shit, this is what I need. So I did a little bit of research, and I through talking and reaching out to people, I found Sean, and we linked up, and we've been doing this for over a year, a little over a year now, and it's awesome, man. It like Sean said it jokingly earlier, but I was going through a lot of shit when I came up with this concept as well. And I'm still going through a lot of shit. So, we all know, I mean, I don't know if you've ever been in therapy, but for people that have been to therapy before, it's fucking expensive, for you just to basically tell your problems to another motherfucker that doesn't care. And the only reason they care is because you paying them, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, and this has helped me so much. Just in the form of like it's therapeutic, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's helped me with like I also suffer from like anxiety and depression and shit like that. So it's helped me a lot to give me this platform, kind of like you.
Yeah.
I also built it with the bigger outlook of building a local platform that I could use to bring local artists and shed light. Like in a way that radio or the bigger people don't, you know what I mean? So I wanted a place to where anybody that has some sort of creative art that they can expose, that they can show to the world, come to this little platform because we're not huge yet,
Yeah.
but we do have this little platform to anybody that wants to come through and show their talent or promote anything that they're working on creatively. That's why I wanted to do that. And the other aspect of it was I wanted to use it as an outreach platform to kind of in some sort of way, help out our community. Right. Me and Sean are still working that out to see exactly how we can position ourselves to do that, which,
just to be clear about this, I mean, don't get me wrong. Community outreach, uplift the local scene, yada, yada. The reason I'm into this whole thing, just to be clear about this, is to have interesting conversations. Because I think there's a lot of people out there who are not, like, they're like, I got things to say. All right, motherfucker, say them. I mean, if you're boring as shit, we'll talk the fuck over you. But I mean, if anything, I tend to think about we bring creative people on because if you got something to fall back on, it's like, all right, man, tell us what you're doing. Like, you know what I mean? But I don't think there are enough people. You want to talk about lifting up the local scene, not necessarily the scene in general as far as the artistic community, but just lifting up the local dialogue as well, man.
Yeah, and that's actually the perfect word too, lifting up the local dialogue. Because like we all know, it's not like you can go to your local radio station and just walk through the front door and be like, hey, I got something to say. Can you turn on the mic? It's like, it doesn't work that way. You got to know this person got to know this person. And maybe if you're lucky, and by lucky, I mean, like if your pockets are deep enough, they might let you in the door. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of it.
That is.
So that this is why, like, I created, I had this concept that I brought to Sean and we were on the same page and we created the Bouncing Brains. Which where I was going as far as like the community outreach and I wanted to do, I don't want to say like charity work, but something like similar like it. Like the best, I was saying we're kind of headed in the right direction because I just recently got, like I said, I do comedy and stuff, or at least I try. I just recently got booked for my first charity event. But this charity event, I'm actually helping like organize and everything.
We were actually talking about this on the way over, man. Steve, you got something coming up at Stokely's as well.
Yeah,
early part of December, man. Like,
I got one going on. For one of my friends, her cousin's 3-month-old baby passed away.
Oh,
so I'm going to be putting a benefit show on there on the 16th there at Stokely's to raise money for them.
Damn, man, that's real cool. And actually, shout out to Stokely's again because the benefit I'm actually helping. Yeah. I'm actually helping the owners.
Yeah.
JD and Jessica.
Right.
Put that show on together. Because they told me when they approached me, because thank God they somehow they found me. They approached me and they were like, you know what? We've been doing this benefits show for I think she said 3 years now.
Yeah.
But this year they've been doing music, so they'll do music, live bands and shit like that, and they raise money and then they donate it to charity. Basically,
Right.
that's the gist of it. But she was like, this year we would like to do something different. So instead of doing like music, we want to do a comedy show. But we've never really done a comedy show, so we'd like for you to kind of help us, show us the ropes, and they actually hired me to, headline the show or whatever. And we're actually right now in the stage where we're pitching like sponsors to kind of help them out with the show and stuff like that.
Right.
So anybody watching this, anybody listening, if you're interested in sponsorship, reach out to JD and Jessica Stokely's in Edinburgh. Get with them and see if y'all can work anything out. Any help is welcomed. Because we've actually sat down and had like an in-depth conversation of like what they've done in the past and what they're trying to do. And I really feel, man, that they're like genuine people that are really trying to give back to their community. They're they're really, and they're like in the trenches, you know what I'm saying? Like doing the shit themselves. So that's why I was so drawn to like help them out, because I respect people like that. Everybody else says, I mean, I'm not shitting on anybody, but everybody says, I want to do work for charity, but they pay this person so this person can pay this one so they can go over there and they do this. But everybody doing everything like from The Office and shit like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like JD and Jessica, they really, like, they're going out and fucking knocking on people's doors and I'm trying to do this and this and this, you know what I mean? And ultimately it's for a good cause and everything. So, yeah, man, that's, I always respect that in people.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that you were doing a charity.
Yeah.
I mean, for your friend, you said, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna do one for my friend. She came to me and asked me, "Hey, man, will you help me out with this?" And I mean, of course, I'm going to. I mean, what kind of pardon my French, or what kind of dick says, "Well, fuck you, I ain't gonna help you with that,
man.
baby." That's kind of a yeah.
That's just to be cynical one more time. I think a lot of people kind of want to, I need to do something. It's like, well, one of the best things you can do is do whatever you're doing as well as possible, so that when somebody in the close circle comes to you and goes, "Hey man, I got an issue," you go, "Hey man, let me break you off a little off the top or do something for you." And it's not going to be, you're not putting yourself in a position where it's, maybe your coin purse is a little lighter than it should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're doing well for yourself, you can do well for those you care about.
Yeah, for sure.
I think a lot of people overlook that sometimes. And then again, on the other side of the cynical aisle, you get some people going, "Hey man, we'll throw a Toys for Tots show. It'll be great. We'll get a bunch of people in here and sell drinks at the bar." And it's like, it's nice.
Yeah. I've worked with, I've done that. I've worked with people like that, and I'm like, it's not my bag. I'm more about doing it for the legit stuff and helping somebody. I mean,
we actually,
it's kind of sad when you get to the point like where we're at now, where it's like, oh, the Red Cross, and it's like, oh, you mean those motherfuckers that steal from Haitians? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we actually just talked about that, because in the last meeting that I had with JD was like, he asked me, he's like, "Hey man, we respect you because you're very enthusiastic about helping, on charity and shit." And I was like, "Well, thank you, man, but let's get something straight. It's just, I help people that do work for charity when they do it like themselves, like you were saying."
Yeah.
There's people, and I told them, man, I was straight up with them. There's people that do charity work. They collect money, and yes, they do donate it to charity. But I know of people that shave off the top, and they keep money for themselves, and then they donate the rest, which is fine. I mean, if that's what you do, I mean, that's you, But I'm not interested if it's not, like you said, a legitimate cause for like charity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why working with them was what felt like genuine, and I really enjoyed the meetings that we had, and I hope that I genuinely mean it. I hope that your show, you have a kick-ass show, whatever you're trying to put together and everything.
Yeah, definitely.
And I want to get into detail about that. and I hope that we can put a kick-ass show together too with them. That was actually JD just hit me up, and he told me that he wanted to meet again to discuss some more details on the event that we're doing. So what is it that you're actually trying to put together, or what idea do you have?
Well, what I'm going to do is put a couple bands together and raise money there at the door. We already got a GoFundMe up on all over the place.
Oh shit! I have a question, bro.
Let the man finish the answer.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. We got a GoFundMe up already. And any bands that are listening, if you guys want to jump on here, just hit me up, and I'll be more than happy to bring you on. So far, we got.
You take rappers or just bands?
Anybody who wants to jump in.
Because I know a couple of rappers that wouldn't mind getting staged.
All right.
We usually, we're going to get your contacts at the end of the episode, man. Yeah. But if you want to throw out an email or a whatever, man, Facebook or whatever, right now, just if anybody's listening.
To where they can contact you directly.
You can contact me on my Facebook at Steven Longoria on Facebook, or you can also message me. Jackal's Corner has its own page set up with messaging, so you can message me there too. And if Facebook ain't your thing, then just go ahead and get hold of me on my number. I don't mind giving it out to you guys. It's 956-685-8013. You guys just hit me up if you guys want to get on this and be a part of this this awesome cause.
Shit.
Is there a link for the GoFundMe?
The GoFundMe, I do not know the link yet. They just put it up today.
Gotcha.
All right,
gotcha.
Cool.
Yeah, but anybody goes onto my Facebook page, you will see it all over there.
I'm just saying because we want to help you out as much as we can. Is there anybody that maybe you can text? Because this is going to run for about 2 hours. Do you know if anybody that maybe you can text right now that'll get back with you with the link?
Well, I can look on my phone and get the link. I can just boot my phone back up.
Cool.
And get the link.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a break at the hour, man, so we can.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll get
because
that
we
down
want to get your event as much out there as we possibly can. So if you can get the link, it would be real cool. As far as because I thought of it, but I don't know, man. Not that I don't have faith in it, man, but because I know it works, but.
Oh, I see.
That's you. I was like, what the fuck is that? Nah, you're cool. Don't worry about it. It's cool. It did freak me. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I said no, Google.
So, what I was going to say was, is there, with the GoFundMe, excuse me, I know it works, but I always felt that it works basically only like when you have a big fucking following, like of people and shit. I don't have a big following. So that's why I thought about it, but I was like, I don't know how effective it would be to do so. So do you, I don't have a big following. And from your experience, I don't know if you have more experience than I do, but would you suggest that even though I don't have a big following, should I start a GoFundMe page? I mean, your event is on the 16th.
Yeah.
Mine is on December 7th.
Yeah.
December 7th at Stokely's. Please, if you're in the area, come support, come out.
I think the platforms like that are usually a lot better for what you're trying to do, Steven.
Yeah.
Where it's a personal thing. It's like here I can directly show you. Here are the people who will be benefiting.
Yes.
Whereas I think
where's that?
Like a GoFundMe type of thing.
Okay,
man?
you're saying that's the one that it's like these are the people.
It's a more personal type of thing. Whereas I've seen a couple of the charity drive type of things try to use the GoFundMe, and it doesn't seem to get the same response.
I see.
I think it's the personal touch where it's you actually can see the faces of the people that are being benefited. I really got to tighten these things up before we start next time.
Yeah, man, because I thought of it, but I was like, I don't know, like if it'll, and it was actually an idea that I was gonna pitch to Jessica and to JD,
right.
In our next meeting, because I thought, well, I keep thinking that I'm doing all of this off of just my platforms, and I
Right.
forget that no, I'm using in a sense their platforms as well. So I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know how big of a following that they actually have. So I thought about pitching that idea to them as well.
Yeah. With the GoFundMe, yeah, it's more of a personal thing type thing. Now, because like if you do want to raise money for multiple, you're gonna be like, well, who exactly? And is it going back to the valley? And is it going here? And
Yeah,
a lot
well,
of questions go into play on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But with your following, if you're asking that, with your following, the way that works is, so say you share that on your page. I'm on your page. I see that. I donate. I share that on my page. Now everybody on my page, all my followers now see it.
yeah.
And then somebody on there, they like it, and then they can share that GoFundMe on theirs. So it's just spreading and spreading and spreading. So it doesn't really matter
See,
if you have 5 or 100.
Well, that's where I was going though. When
The social network helps sometimes.
yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
but that's what I was gonna say, and me and Sean have had this conversation like back and forth, where sometimes, man, I have a huge problem fucking getting my friends just to click twice to share the fucking Bouncing Brains page. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's free. They're not giving me a fucking penny for that shit, and
Yeah.
they won't even fucking do that. So,
Well, I think it was the episode we were doing with THC, which I don't think comes out till next week. Another fine program on RGV Titan Radio. Go check them out. But yeah, the whole, we were having that conversation about, if you don't have a steady schedule release and all this, like the people, you'll get people unsubscribing from, the subscriptions and all this shit. And it's like, first of all, those people weren't in it for the long haul in the first place, which is, unfortunately the way a lot of the social media works as well, where it's like, you've got 300 subscribers and only 5 people are following you. And you're like, what the fuck? Why'd you even click subscribe? You know what I mean?
Right.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck was the point of this? Yeah, I think the one, having the social network and having people on there that are actually kind of paying attention, as Freddy was pointing out, man, there's hell, man, we've both had that issue. We put up a flyer for a fucking show where there's like 5 other people on it or something, and you can't even get those motherfuckers to share the damn thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Self-interest just isn't even a motivator sometimes.
Yeah. And it gets, so going back to the point that you were making, it gets difficult to even just get somebody to like share your shit. So like, for
Yeah.
example, even if we had like a GoFundMe with even, say for example that I just had 50 followers. Out of those 50 followers, maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get 3 of them to click share. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's the difficult part with it. Now, the thing that still fucks with me in my head, it's like, hey man, maybe if we put it in their face as far as like, hey, well, we're doing this for a local charity here in the valley,
Yeah.
Maybe that'll fucking move somebody's heart. But
Yeah.
then I keep thinking, on the other hand, man, these people are still not going to give a fuck about, you know what I mean? So that's kind of the tug and pull that I go back and forth with myself.
Did y'all follow that whole, I think they shut down the idea, but at a certain point earlier this year, Facebook was looking into getting into the cryptocurrency kind of Bitcoin type of thing.
Yeah.
And while clearly they would have done some evil, dirty shit with that, I think the convenience where people can just kind of go, I'm on Facebook, I see the post, here, have some Facebook coins. Probably would have been a benefit to a lot of things like that. Granted, you got like the
I think the problem there would be cashing out.
yeah,
Because I don't think, especially when you're doing like for charity work,
Yeah.
motherfuckers ain't gonna keep their motherfucking money in cryptocurrencies. Like, we need funds today
Yeah.
from whatever we collect. You know what I'm saying? So,
well,
I'm
to
not-
be
I'm
honest, there
not
were some
shooting
early
down-
charities. Granted, this was probably maybe 5-6 years back, but when Bitcoin was making their first big push into like popular awareness, you'd get people doing the charity thing. and just you'd get these geeks that were already involved in it. Granted, maybe not the exact market you're going to find down here in the valley, but people would go like, well, fuck it, man. If you get, 300 Bitcoin, I'll match you with 300 Bitcoin because I mine the damn things or something like that.
Yeah.
There is something to the novelty of how you're doing it. And convenience. I think there are a lot of people that just like, I'd like to give, you know what I mean? But then again, you also get some motherfuckers that'll say that to the, somebody that's standing right in front of them. It's like, I'd love to give some shit to you, but
Yeah. Now, and it's a fine point that you just touched there, the last one, which I was going to say right now, something that I was pondering earlier today and yesterday and shit was, I think another key to having your community or the people around you support you more, and I really do mean like when you need something like monetarily, is I think one of the biggest keys is actually being out there more as like a person that they see you physically, that they see you out. And I can attest to that because I'm very, I have a lot of shit to do and a lot of shit going on. But the other thing that plays against me is the fact that I'm also like very, very secluded and antisocial. So I don't like going out. I don't like the clubs. I don't like the bars. When I go out to perform and I go out to eat. And that's about it. And then I come back home. Like I literally, people may think I'm crazy, but I literally have to like force myself to like go out. So that's something that I go back and forth with myself. But I was thinking maybe if I was out there more in the public eye, I think when it would come to things like this, like you were saying earlier, a lot more people would know me and would know who I am physically. And I think that there's just something maybe about knowing somebody physically that I think they would be more supportive. Because, I mean, I have a lot of followers and friends on Facebook, but I'll be honest with you, I don't think that half these motherfuckers have, like, if it wasn't at a show, I don't think they've seen me or met me in person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, with me, I used to be like that. I never would get out of my house. I had anxiety and everything else to get out of the house. And finally, I was just like, I'm wasting away here. I have to get out. So slowly I started going like to friends' houses and chat with them. And then slowly but surely, but even still now, I'll go to shows and I'll have to step outside and sit outside and just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
you feel me, bro. Yeah.
So
I'm like that too. But I think like mine gets worse because like when I'm in a big crowd of people, like a big crowd, like a concert or whatever, I get paranoid. And I think we mentioned this on the last episode or the one before that. Like I get paranoid to the point where when there's a lot of people and I'm in a public place, like my mind starts racing and then I start thinking all kinds of crazy shit. I literally go through a rundown of of like this shit that could happen that hasn't even happened yet and it may not happen. Like I start thinking of like how many exits the venue has, how many ratios to guns it's possible to have in that one place. You know what I'm saying? Like how many of these motherfuckers may have guns, may use them. What if somebody get mad because somebody dropped a drink and then and I'm like, and I'm here and I'm real far from the exit and like my mind just fucking wanders in a million different directions. So that's something that I like struggle with as far as like, dude, you need to like just chill the fuck out and just chill. You're gonna. I mean, if shit pop off, I mean, it's gonna happen, and if and when it does, there's only so much you can do, but it's easy to say now because I'm at the house, but once I get there,
it's a whole other story.
Yeah, man, it's hard to not feel that way, you know what I'm saying? And I do a lot better now. because before I started like doing shows very frequently,
Right.
I didn't go out. I literally did not go out. If I went out, I went out to my dad's house. I went out to go see my daughter, or I went out to eat. Literally, those are the only things. And after that, I came straight back home, took a shower, changed, and watched TV, and that was my day. And I was fine. I didn't feel like I had anything missing, or I didn't feel like I had to be out. But like you said, like you get to a point where you also feel, you know, like, am I wasting my time? Like, what am I doing? Maybe I do need to, you know, get out there more or whatever. But that's kind of like what I struggle with, as far as that's where my mind goes when I do have to go out.
Right.
Then you get into a crowd and people can't fucking understand concepts like personal space or fucking
exactly. And then you got
how to
people
hold their shit.
and then you got people like breathing on you, like, and see, and people like that shit that I feel the regular person like doesn't think about. Like, I got this motherfucker behind me. I can feel his fucking hot ass breath. I got this dude, like, I can't move forward because he's literally like fucking 5 inches in front of me. I can't move to the side until this dude decide to fight. And then I got this asshole on the other side trying to get through. And like I said, I get fucking, it gets annoying after a while. You know what I mean? So that's why, like, I rarely go to, you see a lot of that in concerts.
Yeah. Oh,
You know what I
fuck
mean?
yeah.
In concerts. So I rarely go to concerts. When I go to concert, like, if you ever see me at anyone's concert, I really have to like the motherfucker. Like, the last concert I went to was 4 years ago, when DMX came down.
Oh, badass.
I went to go see DMX live, and I do not regret that. And that concert wasn't that bad.
You know what the fucked up part is? You go because you like the artist, and then you realize you really hate their fans.
Yeah, exactly.
I went to the Queens of the Stone Age concert a couple years back up at that the big amphitheater in Austin.
Fuck, you went
the one
to
that's got the big ass
The
tower.
360?
Yeah.
No, not the 360 one, but it's near an airfield or something. It's just got like the big ass like spotting tower, like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and like we paid extra for seats. Like my buddy was buying the tickets, and I was like, "Dude, get us some chairs, man. We're fucking 30 years old, man. We're gonna get drunk. We're gonna get stoned.
Yeah.
Get us some motherfucking seats." And I swear to God, every motherfucker in that place, as soon as the Queens of the Stone Age popped out, they all stood up. And I could have started throwing motherfuckers. I was so fucking pissed.
Yep.
It's like, get your ass down in the fucking mosh pit, go up on the fucking hill, just get the fuck out of my line of sight. Like, it ruined the concert for me on some level, man. I start getting anxious and shit because of but.
That's fucking great.
Yeah. Again, people got no goddamn respect for other people.
Like, do you feel that way? Like, when
Sometimes I do. That's like my wife already knows when I go out to a show, I'll take 2 to 3 packs of cigarettes with me because she knows I'm going to go through every single one of those cigarettes because my anxiety goes off the freaking charts, especially if I'm downtown McAllen. Hell.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
Hell. It's a big production just to get me down there.
I wanna do this on air. I was gonna do it off air, but we know each other, Sean. I wanna publicly apologize for not showing up to last weekend's recording.
You better wait and listen to the episode, man. I bagged on you hard, son. I got mine.
But going to with what Steve was saying, bro, that was a reminder as into why the fuck I do not go anywhere near downtown on weekends. That shit was horrible, son. I had this chick. Nobody's gonna know her or whatever. I don't even know her name. I was coming down 17th Street for like the 5th time. And this chick was like drunk as shit. And it wasn't even late yet. It was like fucking 11:30 or some shit. Or no, I'm lying. It was 12. It was 11:45 or some shit.
It was early enough for the college kids to be drunk.
So no, well, I mean, she was crossing the street and shit, and then she just stops. Like she owns the fucking street. She's waving and shit. And then like I said, she was drunk. And she just, I don't know if she tripped or she just threw herself on my car. And I was like, bitch, you need to get the fuck off my car before a cop thinks that I ran your ass down, you know, because I was stopped completely. But she like landed on my car and I rolled down the window and I was like, ma'am, can you move? I told her, I was like, ma'am, can you move the fuck out of the way? And then the car behind me rolls down the window. And he was like, hey, let me get your number. And I was like, ma'am, he's calling you. I just wanted to get her off my car and shit. So, yeah.
I'm being a dick. He wants to give you some dick.
Exactly. But yeah, long story short, it reminded me like why I don't go downtown like on weekends or whatever. I have a hard enough time getting down there on a Tuesday or Wednesday when there's an open mic or a show.
Yeah.
But weekends are fucking horrible. And I went like around I went down 15th Street, 16th Street.
And well, like you were telling me, man, you got there right as they start setting up that fucking little police blockade down there at the end of the street.
That was another thing. So I almost got.
I still don't understand why the fuck they do that, man. They just cause more problems than they solve.
They almost barricaded me on 17th, but I was able to get out, right? So I went out, turned to get on 16th. As I'm coming down 16th, I see another group of like 3 cops putting up another barricade on that side. So I sped up and I pull up and I'm like, hey man, I'm trying to exit. Can I exit? And he was like, yeah, just go ahead. So he let me through. And that's why I didn't want to go back, because I was like, if I go back and they don't let me out, because I still don't know how that works. Like they close it and then when do they open it again? Like you just have to stay there until when?
Pretty much, it's been a long time since I've been down there, like around when the bars are closing. But like, I think they just kind of try to trickle people out slowly.
Yeah,
and they basically want an excuse to eyeball you.
It's all.
But
close.
do they let you out though?
No, that's all. You have to drive all the way to the end of 17th or up there, like Chicago and all that, to get out of that, because it's closed off until every single person is gone, and then they open it back up.
And then they get all aggressive with you and shit. If you're not moving fast enough, it's like, man, I'm trying to be safe. Y'all making this more dangerous.
Yeah. And then like,
and what the fuck is it with cops and bike shorts trying to get aggressive? That's another story.
and like the other thing is, man, like these people do not know or don't obey like the crosswalk rules. You got people like literally hopping out of everywhere, so you literally have to go like 10 miles an hour, because I think that even if you go 20, you jump. If a motherfucker jumps, you're not gonna have time to like stop. So I learned that the first time I went, or the second time I went around.
Yeah.
By the third time, I was literally going 10, 15 miles an hour, because like people kept coming out. And then there was fucking bitches like barefooted with their shoes in their hands and yelling at other people. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I mean, there was a party life that because I used to party a lot. I mean, a lot of it was in Mexico. But I used to party a lot here when I was younger. And I can't remember a time when it was like that. Like on the street. I mean, in the bar, yeah. Like, but inside the bar. But I felt like somehow it happened to like where you were fucked up in the bar. But as soon as you walked out on the street, it was like you got your neck up and everything until you made it to your car. Yeah. I never remember fucking seeing people like that crazy, literally on the fucking street and shit. So.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing on downtown McAllen. I try to stay away from it, and that's one of the reasons that I do go to Stokely's like I do, because I like that environment. I don't have to stress there. It's comfortable to me. I can enjoy my night. I don't know. Somebody very awesome has to be downtown for me to go.
Yeah.
Because I just do not like it. I can't stand it. And as soon as all it takes is just one person from the group to be like, you know what? We should take off from downtown and go somewhere else. I'm like, down. That's all it takes. That's it. Just waiting for one of them.
It's like, we going to Applebee's. Fuck that. It's better than downtown. Let's go to Applebee's.
Yep. That's how I am, man.
You know, and granted, there's a lot of stuff going on down there, and every once in a while you can stumble into one of those little joints, and there'll be some band on stage. You've never heard them before. They fucking kick ass and shit. And but it's not an often enough occurrence that it's almost worth the hassle.
Yeah, and I honestly, I think they just need to organize it a little bit better than that because it's too insane.
But I don't know. I don't know. I thought of that. I was like, why isn't there more ordinance? I guess if you want to call it that, like to this whole shit.
Yeah.
But I was looking because again, I was driving 10 miles an hour, and as I'm driving 10 miles an hour, like I was looking at everything around me that was going on because I was getting paranoid.
Right.
So I was looking at everything around me. And I started thinking, I thought exactly that, but I was like, how could you control this?
Well,
like without taser guns and shit like that? Like
they've almost made it safer for idiots. Like they've got the security, the city requires that all those places have security guards all night long and all that. And they do the fucking shutting the street off and all that shit. The cops are like out there in a large presence on Friday and Saturday nights. But they've just kind of nerfed the whole thing so drunken idiots can bumble around.
Oh, and then
fuck shot bars while we're on the subject. Just,
yeah.
And by the way, I had a parking space on 17th Street that opened up literally like 30 feet away from LA, and I was gonna park. A parking guy in a vest came up to me, and he's like, "Hey man, you can have this parking space, but I need $20."
The proper response is, and just keep walking.
And I was like, well, what do you mean you need $20? And he's like, yeah, you can park here, but I need $20. And I was like, nah, bro, I'm not. I park here for free. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not giving you $20 or whatever. And he was like, well, you can't park here. And he was literally standing like in the parking space. So I was like, all right, fuck that. So I just went around again.
I'm going to close my eyes and take my foot off the brake. And if something goes crunch, that's on you, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, man, he literally, like, he was like, and then he, like, if he was trying to make me a better deal, he was like, all right, man, you can have it for 15. I was like, what part of I'm not giving you any money? Don't you understand this?
And when they do that, all you have to do, you simply tell them this. All right, well, we'll see what that cop right there has to say about it. As soon as you say that, they're going to say park.
That's
all of a sudden the vest disappears. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. I thought of it. I was like, I don't think it's legal for them to say that. But I was looking around, and for
there are private parking lots down there, and that's a completely different thing.
No, but this parking space was literally 30 feet from.
You're talking on the street next to a parking meter, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, those motherfuckers are free.
Yeah. So, and then I started looking around. I was like, where the fuck is a cop when you need one? Because I wanted to flag one down, and I literally didn't want to tell him. I was like, look, I'm trying to park here. This asshole's telling me that I need to give him $20. So I couldn't fucking find a police officer. There was a shitload of security guards.
Yeah.
But there was no fucking police officer.
And if it ain't them, man, it's those fucking some cunt from a club going out and putting the fucking traffic cones in the thing. It's like, nah, man, you don't get to fucking hold a seat for this. This is first come, first serve.
Yeah.
I've done it where I'll go downtown with a friend and somebody does that, and I'll just get out of the fucking car and take the cones and be like, here.
Are these for me?
Yeah. I had a friend of mine, he used to take them. He would put them in his car and be like, screw you. He'd be like, oh, now I can hold my own spots. You know? Hey,
that's actually a good fucking idea. Carry home cones and shit.
Look, man, I really do think, you've been down there and Freddy, you've seen the place that, they've opened up the little taco stand. That's not the word, but the food trucks. That's what I'm looking for. The little food truck lots and all that shit. Yeah. And honestly, if they're making their money, they're making their money, man. But I think somebody would be a goddamn genius if they just opened up a motherfucking parking lot out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the parking, garage, the big parking garage down there.
But that's owned by the city.
Yeah. And granted, if you don't want your car getting broken into, probably not a bad idea. But frankly, if you don't want your car getting broken into, don't keep nice shit in your back seat. But that's another subject altogether. But yeah, man, it's just there are a couple of municipalities down here that actually require you to have parking if you're going to have a business. So like these areas where it's just like, no, we're just going to keep cramming businesses in here and like nobody will be able to park.
Yeah.
It makes no goddamn sense.
Yeah.
Somebody with a little bit of property and a brain on them probably be able to make a nice little penny just doing a private parking spot.
Yeah.
Was it that one spot in San Antonio we were at where they had that place filled up for all 4 or 5 hours we were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Downtown McAllen's not the best run place in the world.
No, it's definitely not. Like in Austin, when I lived up there, they have their 6th Street, and the way they have it is they have their parking garages that are away from 6th Street. So everybody parks there, right there. And as long as you come at the end of the night and you have at least one ticket showing that you were in one of the fucking bars, you park free.
Yeah.
And then you just walk to 6th Street, which is like a block away,
Right.
and just walk up and down to these things. So they have everybody out of there. And it's just people walking down there, and that way people are walking in the street, not on the sidewalk, so people can get into the venues and out of the venues without having to fight through 1,000 people in the venue and then when you get out.
Well, I mean, not only that, but you also eliminate the trouble or the danger of fucking like being run down. Like,
Yeah.
like I almost hit this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dude, I was fucking cop out there on Friday driving, and I know they have a reason, but fucking dumbass didn't even have his lights on, was just driving the opposite direction down 17th Street, and it's like, nice fucking example, dipshit.
Yeah.
oh, you was going the wrong way?
Yeah, and they do that all the time, man. Man, if you ain't an ambulance with the goddamn lights going, fuck off, pig.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, we're at the hour right now. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Cool.
Right.
3, 2, 1, and we're back. Yeah, man. Let's jump into it. I was asking you off camera, man. What was? How long have you been like out of the performing end of the music scene?
Oh, man. Shoot. I actually stopped doing that a little before I actually got married. So since 2005,
Right.
I've been out of actually performing. Every now and then I'll jump on stage with like somebody doing open mic, or, you know, for the most part, for me to keep my vocal chops up and all that, I'll go do karaoke and stuff like that to keep my range going and stuff. But
So you sing, and do you play an instrument, or you just sing?
yeah, I play saxophone, and I play keyboard. I play.
So you play like real instruments?
Yeah, I've always been into music since I was little, and so it was a no-brainer when I started going to the upper ages, and they were like, "Oh, you can join band," and I was like, "Hell yeah, I can!" So I did, and actually, as punk and metal as I am, actually, it all started for me was wanted to play saxophone because of Kenny G. I heard him, and I was like, man, this guy makes me feel emotions for things that I've never even experienced, but I feel them. And I'm like, that's what an artist is. That's what they should be able to do. They should convey a portrait for you that you can feel. Even if you haven't been through that, you're able to feel that. And that's an amazing quality to have. You know, so he was who got me into the saxophone stuff. And then music wise, where I was just like, music is everything to me. It's what I have to do, was Pink Floyd. Yeah. That's what did it for me. I think I was about 6 years old, and my dad took me to go see Pink Floyd. And it was just like, what is this? This is just so amazing. How are they doing this? How are they making all these sounds with all these instruments? And it sounds so beautiful. And the look on my mom's face, she was like, oh, fuck. And I even hear my mom tell him, oh, great, now our son's going to do drugs. And I was like, well, of course, you know, I can't make my mom a liar, you know. So music started there for me. And then when I heard Kenny G, I was like, okay, that's what I need to play. I need to play saxophone. And then I started singing for different reasons in my room and stuff like that. And then one of my friends heard me singing. He was like, hey, you know, my dad's a vocal coach. He's like, and you should go see him. You're really good. And he says, you just need a little bit more fine tuning. So I went, and that's how I started getting into where I was singing. He was like, maybe this is what you're supposed to have been doing is this whole time. And so I started doing that, doing vocals. Was in a few bands, and I just got to a point where I was just like, it'd probably be better for me just to go solo and just do my own thing. And then I don't have to deal with anybody's time schedules or anybody saying, well, I got too messed up the night before, any of that stuff. I could just go into the studio when I want to, do the shows that I want to do, not have to worry about any of that. So after I had my heart attack, my doctor's like, you cannot even do that anymore. And I was like, okay, what about like open mics? He's like, as long as they're small and you don't get too excited. And I was like, right on, man. So after that, I started thinking, well, what can I do to help my scene, help musicians, period? And I came up with, started managing bands. Back when I lived in Corpus, I started doing this and managed a couple cool metal bands. One of them is Killamora, and they're a very awesome band. So I managed a few bands out there and moved down here and didn't do really much anything when I came down, and just support and pushing all the bands and all that fun stuff that a supporter does. And then I want to say maybe about 5-6 months ago or so, Viberhaven came to me and was like, hey man, like you're at all our shows, you know, all our stuff, you push our stuff already, you already book us gigs. Why don't you just be our manager? And I'm like, man, I've been waiting for that. So I started managing them, and I'm really enjoying it because they are actually one of my favorite bands. They are hard-working guys. These guys are no joke. They're the type that if they're even 1% unsure of giving the best show they can to all their fans, they won't do it. And that's the way they are. They're like, hey, our fans are paying to get in. Our fans are paying for our merch. We deserve to give them the best damn show that they can get. And to me, I'm like, that's exactly the attitude you should have.
Right.
No matter if you're a local band or a national act or whatever, you should always come with that attitude. And that's going to take you a long way. And these are things that I'm teaching these guys. I mean, this is a band who's been around for quite a while, and they've only left the Valley once out of all those years because they just don't know how to do it. And nobody's really shown them the way. And, a lot of people are like, well, sink or swim, sink or swim. Yeah, but, did your parents say sink or swim when they taught you how to walk and talk and everything? No, they taught you because you didn't know. And this is what that is. You have to teach and say, hey, this is how it is. What good is knowledge if you ain't sharing it?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So I enjoyed that. And then a couple more bands that I'm kind of in talks with to see if I'm going to manage them. I mean, there's a process that I go through. They got to, let me know what are they wanting. And, I'm not one of those who's just going to take a band under my wing to help them get shows and get out there if they're not really on board with doing that. It's somebody else can use that time, and I see it happen a lot with bands that are super talented and they got everything it takes, but they have bad work ethic. And even if you're in a band, yes, it's fun and it's cool and everything, but you have to have a strong work ethic. You have to. And that's with anything, especially if you're advertising it as yourself. This is me. This is my product. You have to make people sure that that product is a good product. You're not going to buy, $1 piece of crap and pay freaking $5-6 for that piece of crap just because it's there. You want to be sure, okay, this is what I want. It's a product that is worth that money. So I want them to understand that they are, even when you're in a band, it's a business. Whether you want to see it that way or not, it is a business. And you could either jump on that and say, okay, and do that, but you don't have to become corporate about it. You don't have to be like, oh, well, this is a business, so it's this and this. No. Still represent yourself. And that's the beauty of it. It's a business of yourself. And that's what it is. And so once you get that under control and say, okay, that's what it is, all right, and then you know how to move forward and you know how to package your stuff and push your stuff and put it out there, because if you don't know yourself, then you really can't do nothing with your music, So I've always told bands that to just do that. Just push yourself. Let people know who you are. When you're at a show, hang out with fans, talk to them, get them to know you on a personal level. You know, be a friend with them, because chances are, if they're a friend that knows you, not just on Facebook and personal, chances are they're going to support your cause. They're going to have your back on things.
There's a little bit of investment there on their part.
Yeah, because they're like, hey, that's my friend. I know him. And then of course you get the ones that are like, oh, that person's in a band. I know them. Oh, what if they become famous? Then I can say I knew them from back then, and I had their back then. So, and like I tell them, it doesn't matter if that's why they're supporting you. It doesn't matter. That's still an ass in the seat. That's still somebody buying your merch. That's still somebody pushing your stuff. That's still somebody telling their friends, hey, check these guys out. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about.
Right, man. Right.
So, shit, that was a lot of good information. I'm not even sure where to start, but
There is the whole aspect of a lot of motherfuckers are in a position where they don't have somebody there who knows how to tell them what the next step is. You know what I mean? They end up having to reinvent the wheel all over again.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's kind of where I was going to. And I guess a more direct question that I wanted to ask you, with the experiences that you have, and that you had managing bands, and the knowledge that you have, because just off of the little bit that you said right now, I could tell that you could really tell what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah. Do you feel that you yourself, Steve, can apply those same practices to any other talent, as far as like a solo act or like a comic? Would you feel? Before I continue, I am not pitching my services to you, sir. I'm trying to get an idea. Do you feel that you can apply those same practices to like a comic? And would you feel knowledgeable enough to take on that task, or have you ever played with that idea?
I've never worked with comics directly. I have had put on shows that have had comics that have booked on them. But I would say, yeah, I mean, that same aspect would apply for anything like that, because it's a...
Water's there, man.
You're good. Take your time. No homo, but don't forget to swallow, bro.
Wait till he's done actually swallowing before you make him laugh.
Okay, so a business is a business no matter where you look at it. A business is going to be a business. So if it's music, comedy, art, poetry, it's still a representation of yourself. Mm-hmm. So still in that aspect, yes, you're still selling who you are and your idea. So yeah, it would work the same thing. I mean, it's the same aspects in a sense, because you still have your fan base that you have to talk to. You have to engage. You have to keep them occupied and pulled in. And you still got to be cool with them too, to go and talk to them and be like, hey, this is who I am. Hey, you know what? My next gig's here. If you really want to come check me out, I got this merch. I got this. I got that. That way they're knowledgeable on that, because a lot of people don't know. They're just going to be like, oh, just another person who got on stage and walked away.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, definitely will. I mean, I never would have known who this guy was if he never introduced me when I saw him over at Fast Eddie's.
Right, man. Open mics, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit, y'all made it a open mic at Fast Eddie's?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Which one? The one in McAllen or Edinburgh?
Edinburgh.
The indomitable Vinny D was hosting a mic out there with
Events with Heart.
There you go. Yeah. And yeah, man. Steve here was out there every week, man, just fucking digging on the bands.
So you were doing bands. You just said that, and I'm taking a wild guess. You were doing comedy.
No, juggling. I was doing comedy.
I was like, well, you know, if you can do that, I mean, there's a market there too, you know. No, but So yo, that's man. I feel like I'm on a fucking dating game. So is that how y'all met?
This guy, yeah.
I looked into his eyes. He said, "Can I bum a cigarette?" And then
That was it.
Hey man, that's cool. So with the, because I'm trying to pick your brain, like with the managing of the band, I'm guessing you already knew kind of like when you have this band, it's like having a big ball of clay,
Yeah.
right? And you're trying to mold this band into a marketable, if that's even a fucking word.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah, it is.
into a marketable product, right? So when you have a band that or an artist that does not really have a clear direction of like where they want to go, but you can see the talent.
Right.
What is your first approach to as far as like the management of it?
Well, for one, it's nearly impossible to manage a band that has not yet figured out what the fuck they want. My job is to come in after they've figured out their direction and make sure they get to that direction. If a band is saying, and they're saying, well, I don't know if we're going to be country or rap or this, then I really don't know what market to look into to get them out there.
Steve, the more you talk, brother, the more attractive you seem. So go ahead and keep going, bro.
Right. So that's the way I approach things like that. Now, if they tell me, well, we have a general idea, we just don't know how to craft it to there, then I jump in and I will tell them, okay, this is what you got to do. I won't manage a band fully until they show me that they're really serious about doing something, because I'm not going to sit there and try to book bands and push them out there, and then a few months later they're like, oh, we call it quits. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And so
I feel you on that.
They have to show me that they're about the grind and getting out there and doing what they got to do.
That's the thing, man. I've realized, and again, I have said this before. I don't mean to shit on my city, my scene, my music, my entertainment scene, but I've noticed, man. I mean, I've been a couple different places like Houston, Austin, California, Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? And everywhere else that I've gone, like everybody that's trying to get into the entertainment business, like. I've seen it. Like they're out there, they're hitting it, they're doing something to expose their talent, like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Here, it's like everybody tells you that and I'm using this word vaguely, but just understand me. Everybody tells you that they want to be a star, but ain't nobody putting the work in. It's like we're like nobody's willing to. As soon as you mention free, it's like, oh well, you know what I'm saying. I got to do this, I got to do that, and it, like everybody expect. I feel, again, I may be wrong, but I feel that everybody expects. It's like, all right, man, I'm gonna do this and this, but you got to pay me this much. Yeah. It's like, motherfucker. I mean, you got two people that came to your show, and they were already here, so they were probably here for the beer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't put these demands, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now, if you have a huge following and you got people down back to the door and shit, and they're not paying you, okay, then that's a different issue. You know what I'm saying? Somebody dropped the ball somewhere and it wasn't you. But, I mean, that's why I tell people, build yourself. It's cool to know what you want to be worth.
Yeah.
But you got to build and market yourself to that point. Exactly. This shit doesn't happen like overnight.
Yeah.
And I fall back to the same argument that I've had with everybody else that is trying to do this shit, whether it be music, comedy, whatever. It's like, if you don't do whatever it is that you do, like I said, singing or comedy or whatever the case may be, if you don't do that because you love it first and you're doing it for the quick dollar, you're going to be waiting a hell of a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And then on top of that, you're going to be miserable because you're not going to get paid. Your money's not going to come your way. You're going to get tired. You're going to get exhausted. So you need to do this shit because you genuinely love to do this first.
Exactly.
And you have to understand that the harder you work, eventually, I can't tell you when, but eventually, the money will come, man. But I mean, as crazy as it may sound, you have to understand that you can't do it for the money.
Exactly.
You're supposed to do it for the money because you got to eat, but don't do it like expecting money tomorrow.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you already got there and you got thousands upon thousands of people at your show and you're still not getting paid, then I'm going to ask you, where the fuck did you drop the ball, or who's promoting you, because you need to fire them.
Yeah.
But if you're not there yet, man, you gotta be willing to put the work in, and a lot of that work entails working for free, working for 10 minutes, working for 3 people in the crowd. You got to make 3 people laugh before you can make 300 laugh.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I'm
facts.
saying? So I think a lot of us, because I started at a place like that when I started doing comedy way back then. And I remember that this one dude sat me down, and he's like, I never forgot what he told me. He said, all the energy that you're focusing to chasing the money, channel that energy into perfecting your craft.
Yeah.
When you channel the energy into perfecting your craft, this is going to flow in. I promise you.
Yeah.
And just as a disclaimer, I'm not making a lot of money off comedy. I'm barely making some sense here and there. I still do a lot of free shit. But my point is that I noticed that the more and more that I started focusing on my craft, as far as the staying up late, making time to write, like, cause I gotta write every day, making time to show up to free shows, to perform for free. The more I started to work on that, the money started flowing in. It just, and I've told Sean before that some of the money started coming in without me asking for it. You know what I'm saying? Perfect example. I'm so thankful for Jessica and JD. When they approached me, to be honest with you, I'm still not clear how they found me. Because JD approached me on Facebook. He sent me a message. Hey man, it was something along the lines of, hey man, you're a comedian. I seen that you put a couple shows. I'm doing this charity event. I would like for you to headline. Hit me back with a message. I hit him back with the first message. He was like, we'd like to bring you on the project. Just tell me how much you cost. That's exactly what he said. I didn't even think somebody was willing to pay me. I was like, all right. So, I mean, we can definitely do it. I mean, I've been paid before, but again, when I went into this, I didn't go into it thinking of like, how much money can I make?
Right.
I just thought, because by this point, I already know, again, I'm not worth a lot, but I already know where I stepped up to. So I already know, like, if somebody has a budget, I know what I can charge and what I can't. Like, because even at this point, I'm not going to go up to anybody and be like, hey, man, well, we're going to do this show, but I want $5,000 off the top.
Yeah.
They're going to fucking look at me like I'm fucking... If you don't leave my fucking bar right now, you know what I mean? So you got to know where you're at. And sure. I tell everybody, this, just like the music thing, it's a numbers game. Like,
right.
It's just, like you said, it's a business. That's exactly what it is. Like, It is a numbers game. The more asses you put in the seat, the more that you're going to be worth. But you got to work to get there. Yeah. You can't, like I said, you can't expect for 10 people to show up and charge $5,000 off the top, because it's just, you'll never find work. You know what I mean?
No, you won't.
So, I guess that's the message that I put out there again. And I'm glad that somebody with more experience than me, because I can just hear you by talking about it, kind of vaguely, states the same thing. And I truthfully believe in that. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, You can't go out there and expect to freaking headline at Madison Square Garden when you can't even get 20 people at Cena. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
You just can't expect that to happen. And I teach these bands that now, like I told Vibrahaven, now this chapter of their life, now I'm telling them, now this is time where you start charging. You've been doing it for multiple years. You've made your fan base. You've shown these venues, yes, I bring people. Now you charge.
Yeah.
Now you tell them. Now you're an asset to them.
Yeah, exactly.
So they'll give you that money, you know,
Yeah.
and Stokers is an amazing place because they do pay people to perform, and that's an amazing thing.
That's another thing. Just because I just said what I said, I'm not taking the responsibility off of the venues that book these bands and these talents. Yeah. Going back to the conversation that we had with Sevi in San Antonio.
Right. Yeah.
I don't give a fuck who you are, man, but if you've been putting in the work, like you said, for a couple of years, you're worth something. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So let's say that you bring in, that I have a venue. Let's say that because of you, let's just say that 25, 30 people showed up.
Yeah.
I gotta give you something, bro. Because of you, those 30 people that came to see you came to my bar.
Yeah.
So I can't be a stiff fucking promoter and be like, oh, well, they're a fucking no name anyway. I'm just gonna be like, hey man, you're not bringing, you're not a huge draw. So I mean, you still got to do this shit for free. If you want to, you don't have to. A lot of fucking promoters will do that, especially when you're not a household name. They'll stick you. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And that responsibility falls on the venue. Like don't be a dick either. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like don't take advantage. If some people very well deserve to get paid.
This goes back to a quote that I brought up on here before. The club manager out of I think it's Denver, where they were opening up another comedy club in the town, and they were like, we're not going to do open mics. We're not going to do showcases. We're just going to bring in headliners. And it's like, look, if you want to sell widgets, you got to make widgets. Like you got to, you want to start doing a weekly show, monthly show, whatever at your place, get some people that can actually, perform. Maybe they can't pull in the draw, but like anybody that does wander into the place goes, holy shit, this is a good fucking show.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If they're putting on one next week, I'll come back. You know what I mean? You get a couple of weeks of that, people go, well, shit, whoever the hell's booking the show has an eye for performers. Fuck it. I'll show up and just see who the fuck they're booking. You know what I mean?
Now, another thing to piggyback off of what he just said, let's just say that you're a no-name band or that you're a no-name artist or a no-name comic. I book you and I'm the venue and I told you, hey man, you're not a huge draw, but I'm going to pay you $100 for whatever, you know what I'm saying, your performance. Right. And that's what we agreed on. So you put on the show, they're expecting so many people or whatever because you're not a big draw. Let's say that for the sake of the example, for whatever reason, you as the venue owner, the venue booker, you sold out the show. It was a packed house. Everybody had a great night because it was great music or it was a great comedy show.
Right.
Me as a venue owner, because you made money that night. Regardless, you made a shit ton of money and you made more because you sold out a show.
Yeah.
Even if it's a no-name artist, bro, have the fucking heart to be like, hey man, I told you we agreed on 100, but I'm gonna give you a little more because it was a great show. Yeah. We got way more money than what we expected. There's nothing wrong with you being generous. But I mean, there's a lot of people that won't. Why? We go back to the charity shit.
Yeah.
Because they want to shave off the top as much as they can so that
they got a bigger profit. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you run into some of these venues where it's like they'll pay ridiculous amounts of money to have a top shelf bottle, behind the bar, and then they won't cough up, fucking $50 at the least. Say you got a one-man act, two-man act, and it's like, well, fuck, give them enough to make, so that it's they can put gas in the car just to make it to the damn show. You know what I mean? Now, if they do a good job, bring them back next time, pay them a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the, God, I'm trying to remember the exact quote for that, but it's like, nobody wants to pay $1 for a quality item, but they'll pay $5 for, you know, a brand name type of shit.
Yeah, exactly. Again, it goes back to if you're a household name, they'll only pay. And again, I can see the other side of it too. When you're a huge fucking draw, I get it. You as a venue owner, I get why you would pay for the brand name, because this person is bringing thousands of people in which equals business to you. I get it, but it goes back to the other side of it that I just said. There's nothing wrong with if you made a little bit more money than what you expected, you know, show some appreciation, because a lot of people don't know, man, especially if you don't do it yourself. They don't know the work and the effort that it takes into fucking writing these songs, recording these songs, coming up with these ideas, writing these jokes or whatever. They think that just because you get on stage, like, oh, it's a performance. Hey, anybody can do it. Really, motherfucker, well, why don't you get up there and try to play the guitar or whatever? You know what I'm saying? My favorite one to hear in my realm is anybody can tell a joke. But yeah, anybody can tell a joke, but how many people can you make laugh with that joke? Yeah. You know what I mean? So, I just said that there's nothing wrong with being, you know, generous, especially when, like you said, when you have a no-name band or a no-name artist and they still draw a crowd and you had a great night that night or a great set, whatever the case may be. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong, which I was going to tie it into this question for you. What is something that you do or that you would recommend yourself to when you're working with a no-name artist? Yeah. To make sure that you do to make the show the best possible show that you can, but only having solely to do with you and not the artist. Because we all know that the artist needs to get up there and perform their ass off. But what's the best thing that you can do and provide to make sure that on your end that happens?
Well, one thing is for sure, if I'm dealing with a band, I want to make sure that they're able to be as comfortable as fucking possible up on that stage. So whatever it takes. Me as a manager, like this past weekend, So
cocaine and weed are in the contract.
No. Not until after. Beer, okay. Weed, okay. The rest, after.
Okay, cool.
We already discussed Fat Axl Rose.
Yes, yes. Yes, no fat Axl Roses.
Go ahead.
So usually I just make sure they're comfortable, which is what I did on the weekend. Make sure that the guys in the band that drink got some beers and were able to have some beers while they're on stage and chill and relax. Stuff like that, you know, or where it was a benefit show, went out and was like, look, dude, here's $20 for one of y'all's Viberhaven shirts. Give that to me. Donate it to the cause. That way it's constant good for them. And then I also make sure that it's constant comfort for the fan that's checking them out. That way they're entertained. Because it's not just me taking care of the band. It's me making sure that the fans are actually entertained by what's going on and listening to them on what's going on. And if they say, you know, we like this song better than this song, then it's my job to let them know, hey, this is the song that's getting the most. So play this song for them because they like that. And let's attract them more. So it's nonstop for me. Like I'm up until 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, hitting up venue owners that are just barely getting out of their bar to try to book these guys and put their name out there. So it's constant for me. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's just constant to take care of.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, we want to reiterate that sometimes it's 24-hour day job and the money doesn't equal that.
Not at all.
Of the times.
Well, to flip the coin on that question a little bit, what would you like to see since you're out there? You're trying to book these bands. You're talking to these venue these venue owners on a regular basis. I'm assuming you're dealing with bookers and promoters as well.
All of it.
Like, what do you look for on their end? Where it's like, what are you doing to actually make this a good show?
See, anytime I talk to a promoter, for one, I do my research on a promoter hardcore. I look at if they've screwed bands over. I look at if they pay. I look at all that other stuff because in order for my guys to leave town, they need to get paid because that's a lot of travel. That is a lot of travel. It's going all the way to San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, and not getting a single penny. No. So I tell them straight out, look, my guys expect at least gas in their car. And if you're feeling generous, you could throw them some bones to get themselves something to eat. And that's pretty much what I expect.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
The food. I when I was booking gigs out of town, I forgot to ask for. Not that I forgot. I just honestly I didn't know that I could ask money for food aside from the money for gas. I thought I had to split the gas in two. But then I learned it's like no, you can ask for food. It's normal.
Yeah,
So,
it's totally normal. And so not only that, I expect that they're going to treat my guys with total respect and not treat them like a bunch of garbage people. And I've seen it happen. I've seen bands get on shows and they just treat them like shit and tell them, oh, you're on this, you got to help load up all these people's gear too and all this stuff. And I'm like, no, that's not a part of my guys' stuff. Right. Their job is to load their gear. Their job is to perform. Now, if they decide to be cool like that and help them, then that's their choice. But that is not their job. So I'm that way with them. The way I see it is this. When I manage a band, I manage it as if those were my kids. Those are my kids. And I take care of them as that. Make sure that they have the best spots. They have the comfort. They're not going to have to worry about, hey, man, like, they didn't pay us, and, like, we're stuck in San Antonio with no way to get home.
Right.
So I usually tell a venue, okay, they're going to pay, so now I go with the band. And I tell the venues, before they even get up on stage, before they even unload, they need to get paid. That's it.
I think Freddy had an aha moment right there. It's like, check first. Damn it! Why didn't I think of that?
No, man. I'm telling you. I'm glad we fucking booked you for this fucking episode. You just gave me another fucking enlightened moment. Going to that I was just thinking of. I just not recently, but I just recently grew the balls to do that when I book a show. I grew the balls to say, hey man, I'm going to do this show, but I require a deposit up front so I can save the date for you. And then I require the second half, the latest, the day of the show before I get on stage.
Yep.
If you don't pay me that money before I get on stage, even if the people are already there, I'm not getting on stage.
Yeah.
Before I wasn't doing that last part of pay me before I get on stage.
Yeah.
I was waiting to like the end of the show or whatever. I can be honest because before it was a fear. It was a fear of like if I come off like that, they're gonna be like, well, fuck this guy, and I don't have to hire him. And I wanted to get hired, But I learned. I was like, you know what? I've been doing it for free for quite a while. So, I mean, if they don't want to book me, fine. I'll just move to somebody else. And eventually, somebody will pay. And if they don't, I'll do what I can for free when I can. But this relates to more so, like you were saying, when you perform out of town. Yeah. Like when I book these shows out of town, now I do make sure that I have the gas or whatever. And normally I work that in to the first half is to cover my gas and my meal or whatever.
Right.
And then the second half I tell them, I need that the latest. I'll take it before if you got it, but the latest will be the day of the show before I get on stage.
Yeah.
And I take cash, no checks or money orders.
There you go.
So
to be honest, in doing that, you do kind of weed the people out that are either not necessarily looking to take advantage or are looking to get something.
But that are really serious about actually hiring you for some shit.
Yeah. Like, look, I'll be the first to admit I don't I don't get approached for that many like stand-up gigs. It's usually people I know that I'm getting gigs from that way. But like I've been approached to do hosting gigs. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, come up. We're doing a 3-hour show. Introduce the bands. Do a little bit in between while they're setting up the equipment. Right. Like, sure, man. I love to do that shit. I love hosting gigs. That's where me and Freddy differ a little bit. I actually like.
Yeah, he likes hosting. I fucking hate it.
I love being able to bring up like somebody that it's like, oh fuck, I know these guys. These guys are fucking awesome. You guys are gonna enjoy them. Give them a fucking round. Show them some love. All that bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, man, yeah, I'm fucking down. And I don't even throw a number at them. It's just like, how much? And then you get radio silence, and it's like, well, that kind of sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, granted, you weed out people that way, but it also, we were talking earlier, man. You got to know what your worth is on some level.
Yeah, you have to.
And don't ever let your ego get in the way. Yeah. This is what I mean. Cause I've heard that it hasn't happened to me cause I ain't worth that much yet. But I've heard that there's been people that have been booked for huge gigs. Let's just throw a number out there for like $5,000, right?
Yeah.
And then they go and they work a smaller venue, but a bigger name gig. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they expect the same money or more because it's a bigger event, but they get less money. And then what happens is, it's like, oh no, well, I'm so-and-so. I did this one for this much. Why would I take less? No, man, you gotta understand that you gotta adjust to what you're working. Now, again, I'm not saying let people rob you. Like if you did a gig for $5,000 and you did another one for $6,000, and then you go and do a slightly smaller venue, and they want to give you $500, then be like, yeah, bro, get the fuck out.
Yeah,
because I mean, they literally trying to stiff you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
so
you also have to factor in the fact that if it's a smaller place, chances are they may not truly have that kind of money. Yeah. So it's a good thing to sometimes say, okay, you know what? I'll do that because you know what? That guy that owns that little place that he may only have enough to give you $500. He may know somebody who's going to have a place that's going to give you $10,000. And you did that favor for him. So he's going to call his boy and say, you know what? This guy did that favor for me. And that guy's going to be like, hey, you know what? All right, I'm going to give him a top pay because he did that favor for my friend.
Yeah.
See?
But on that, and I agree with you on that 1,000%. But on that, you're playing the double-edged sword because the other side could play in that scenario. Meaning that same person could be like, oh, well, you did that favor for my friend, but I expect the same thing.
Yeah, and you do get that. You do get that. And that's when you explain to them, okay, well, these guys can't afford that. My going rate is this. This is my going rate.
Yeah.
And I did a special exception for that person because of the fact that I liked that person and what they were bringing to me. And I knew that they couldn't afford it, you know? So, and then once you explain it to them like that, they're going to be like, oh, this is a businessman.
Yeah.
And they're going to know you can't fuck with a businessman.
And the other thing that I point out that you said earlier is also that I've also learned along the way is I learned to take into consideration venue and attendance size. Yeah. So now, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I've only done it twice. I've asked the venue, what is your capacity?
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, tip top, it's going to be like 40 people. So I'll give you an example. Not that I ever have, because I don't want people to get the wrong idea that I'm going to burn bridges if somebody hears this and takes it the wrong way. But like, I've never charged anybody like $1,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, say that they only fit like 40 or 30 people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to charge that venue that can only physically fit 30 people in their venue $1,000 to $2,000 because it's not going to be worth as a business for them, like as a business move. And if I don't do it, say that, oh, if you don't pay me $2,000, like I'm not going to do it. Exactly. Then I'm going to burn that bridge of business that could have brought me more multiple business opportunities along the way.
Yeah, definitely.
So all I'm saying is you have to learn to adjust to literally venue size.
Yeah, you
how
do.
How many people fit in that venue? This much? Okay, well then give me 500 or whatever, or give me 400 or whatever. Keeping in mind what you said earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe if I do this for them in the near future, they'll either recommend me with somebody else, or if they want another show at a later date, they're gonna call me again.
Yeah. Yeah, they will. And I've seen it happen where a band will go in or somebody will go into a venue and they'll get paid barely anything on that first round. And then the next round when they come through, the venue's literally saved up money just to book that person because they're like, you gave me a break. You helped me out when I was in a pinch. I got you now. And sometimes that's all it takes. And a lot of times these smaller places, they just want to see what you got first.
Yeah.
They want to see, okay, if I'm giving you $1,000, are you $1,000 worth?
Exactly.
Or are you $150 worth? I want to know. But usually they'll stick to it. If they say, oh, I'm giving you 500, they'll give you that 500. But they'll probably never call you back again if you suck.
Exactly.
Nor should they.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they shouldn't. And that's what I explain to the bands that I work with when I do anything. I tell them, look, man, you guys got to go in there and you guys got to pretend that this is the biggest event you've ever fucking played.
Exactly.
Every single time.
Treat that 30-person bar like it's motherfucking Coachella, motherfucker.
Yep, exactly.
You know what I mean? So, and me and Sean have had this conversation too. And I do want to proudly say that when I started my career, I was not like this. But I've learned that if it's 100 people or 10 people, I'm still gonna give you the best possible fucking performance that I possibly can, because those 10 people made the effort to go out, pay money, and see me or whoever it was that was on the card. Because I've also learned that whether it's 100 people or 10 people, my name as a performer and my reputation as a performer is also on the line. And if I give you a half-ass show on purpose, then that tarnishes me as a performer.
Yeah.
Then they're going to be like, oh, this guy will give you a half-ass performance just because 10 people showed up. You know what I'm saying? So I've learned that even if it's 10 people or 100 people or 200 people, I'm going to go out there and perform my ass off. Now, a disclaimer that I will say for myself, sometimes I show up and I perform, and I'll be honest with you, not everything's knocked out of the park. You know what I'm saying? I'm not always as funny as I wish I was, and sometimes I do drop the ball. Maybe they just weren't feeling me that night. But I just do want you to know that one way or another, I mean, whether it was like that or whether I made people laugh, I gave you my best shot.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
this is a genuine just observation on my part is, and this goes back to the question I was asking you about, like, what are you kind of expecting as the middleman from the venue? Because you get you run into a few venues where they're planning for the packed out room, and then they only get 10 people, and the performer might be performing their ass off, but the waitress ain't coming, the fucking the bartender ain't doing his fucking job, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not seating them properly.
Real quick, that's the venue's fault. I'm the performer. That's not my fault.
No, but that's what I'm saying, man. It's a group activity, man.
And even that, even as him, like say for example that he was the manager, bro. I'm the manager of the talent. You're the manager of the venue. Your fucking shitty service has nothing to do with me. But I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah, man.
A lot of people, the audience, doesn't give a fuck. They want a good show and they want a good service.
Yes.
Sometimes the venue owner or the venue booker will drag your name down because of their shitty service.
Yeah.
Now, you can have a great performance, but their shitty service, you know what they're going to say? Oh, I went to that Steve show and Steve wasn't shit. And it wasn't really that Steve wasn't shit. It was just that the waitresses had a bad attitude or whatever the case may be.
How many fucking bar shows you've been to where, They didn't take the balls off the pool table. The TV's still going. They got the jukebox going in the background. Well, we turned it down, man.
No, I need it off, man. By the way, and that's another thing that I learned through experience. When I do, I've only booked one bar gig officially so far. When I booked that bar gig, I did tell them, because I learned. Shout out to the Tipsy Tavern out in Harlingen. I learned from that gig to tell them, when I booked the other bar gig, I told them, look, man, I'm only going to be up here for like 40 minutes or whatever the case may be. For those 40 minutes, if you want me to give you the best possible performance I possibly can, engaging the audience, I need the TVs off. And I told them, not turned down, I need them off. And I need no pool balls on the pool table just while I'm up here. And I explained to them, I was like, look, man, because as human beings, it's scientifically proven that we have a very short attention span. Yeah. So if they're dividing their attention span in two, I lost the crowd. I can lose a crowd within 5 minutes. And if the TVs are on, I'm probably not going to get them back.
Well, not to mention names, but that one spot had a karaoke gig going on downstairs. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that too.
And it was a beautiful place, man. That was the thing. I genuinely feel, man, like as you don't get enough venue owners that are trying to curate a environment that is conducive, not just, so the performer feels good. Like you were saying, man, like, get them a beer, get them something to eat. If your fucking performer feels good, they're going to give you a good fucking show. Yeah. But also you got to like prime the audience to a certain extent. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Dim the lights down, man. Put a tablecloth on the motherfucking thing. You know what I mean?
Something. Yeah. And that's how I work. If I'm managing a show, or if I'm managing a band, then I really don't put too much into making sure they're doing everything right with the venue. But if I'm promoting a show, totally different ballgame. I will, if I see people out there in the audience and they're standing there with empty beers, I'm going to that bar and being like, hey, why is there not somebody serving these people? Yeah. Why are they standing without empty beers? Empty beers mean empty till, straight out.
Right on.
So that's what it means, man. So, and once I say that to them, because I'll talk straight to the manager. I'm going to deal with talking to the bartender or the waitress, because I already know what they're going to do. They're just not going to do it. They'll say, I got you. They'll serve a couple people, make you think they're busy, and then they'll go back to doing what they're doing. So that's what you tell the manager. You say, boom, I brought the people. Now it's time for you to serve them. I mean, it's just the way it works. And once I do that, yeah, you'll start seeing them come out, boom, serving them.
God dang it, Steve. Why didn't I meet you fucking 5 years ago? Damn. Hey, man, you looking for work?
Yeah.
No, man, you damn, brother. I'm glad I got to meet you, man. You got the experience and you know what you're talking about. I wish a lot more people and again, going to venue owners, venue bookers, I wish more of them understood exactly what you're talking about, because I think if they did, because a lot of people also forget, man, when you hire us as a performer, that's our only fucking job.
Yeah.
You hired me to perform. You hired me to sing. You hired me to tell jokes. That's all I'm here to do. I'm not here to sit your people down. I'm not here to tell them to be quiet. I'm not here to check on their beers. I'm not here to make sure they're paying at the door. I'm a performer. I'm not your security guard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that just because you show up, I paid you $1,000. You're gonna tell some jokes, but you got to do all this shit too.
My favorite question is, did you bring your own mic?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to a venue in Westaco. When we pulled up, the venue owner, it wasn't the manager, the venue owner asked us. He was like, hey man, where's your mic at? And I was, we didn't bring up. And I was like, we're the comedians, man. We gonna tell the jokes. He was like, where's your mic at? We don't have a mic. So somebody pulled the mic out of their ass. I don't know who it was, right? So they brought him the mic, and then the venue owner came back to me, and he literally had the XLR cable in one hand, the mic in the other hand, and the other part on the floor, and he's like, "Hey man, you know how to plug this in?"
Oh no.
Hey, the sound guy didn't show up tonight.
This was the hardest part to have to explain. I wasn't the headliner. I wish I was, because I would have taken that, because I'm not a big name, right? I wasn't. This was the hardest part. The headliner walked in the venue. There was nobody at the venue yet, and the headliner walked in, and he was like, "Is this where the comedy show's at?" He was like, "Is this where the comedy show's supposed to be at?" I was like, "Yeah, bro." And he's like, "Damn, does anybody else know that there's a comedy show here tonight?" So it's like, fuck. We literally had to push the show back an hour. Almost an hour and 10 minutes, because there was nobody there yet.
Damn.
Hey, Steve, let me throw this question at you, man, because I've don't get me wrong, with comics, there's always that, like, we should get a couple more people in here, because, laughter's infectious and all that shit, man. Yeah. But, like, more and more, not really a question, man, just a thought. Let me, if you can give me a kind of your own take on it, man. Like, more and more, I'm of the mindset that, like, it goes back to the, whether it's 10 people in the crowd or 100 people in the crowd. If it's showtime and there are 3 people already at their seats with drinks in their hands, it's fucking showtime. Let's go.
Exactly, yeah.
100%.
It goes back to, what you said, 10 people in the crowd or whatever. Hey, man, if you showed up late,
that's on you.
The flyer said 9:30, brother. It said showtime 9:30. Now, I'll give you another thing. Whoever the fuck makes your flyer, if this motherfucker forgot to put the time, then that's another issue. That's another issue. Because I've had some flyers where they hit me up and I'm performing and whatever, and he's like, "Hey man, at what time's the show?" And I'm like, real badass. "Oh, it's on the flyer." "No, it's not." Motherfucker. It's at 9:30, or it's at 8 o'clock, or it's at 7 o'clock, or whatever. I'll let him know. But yeah, you got to make sure that you.
Oh yeah. I've had shows where I've put together and had somebody make a flyer for me. Badass flyer. Just bam, draws your attention. Everything's badass. Motherfucking guy forgot to put the venue.
Shit.
Needless to say, he didn't get paid.
He forgot to put the venue.
And I told him, and he's like, "Yeah, don't pay me." He told me straight out.
Good man. All right, man. We're coming up on
the second hour.
Yeah, it's about 55 right now.
Cool.
What do you got going on next, man? I mean, I know you probably got some episodes of the Jackal's Corner coming up.
Yeah, I got a couple episodes right now. It's all up in the air for a second because we're switching to a new format with it. We're going to be recording everything pretty much like this, pre-record, put it on. But it's going to be more of a record everything in one day and have the whole month done in one recording. So,
whoa, hold up, what again?
So
you're gonna record every guest in one day?
Well, that's what is wanted to happen, but
how the fuck?
That's what I'm saying.
Episodes?
An hour. So that's 4 hours out of the day. That in 4 hours I can record a whole month.
But you got to get them in there. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, and so I'm kind of at a thing where I kind of like the whole live thing because they can come in at 8 o'clock. Everybody's usually out of work by then, chilled out. I don't want to make it where they're like, "Oh yeah, we can do that," and then have to all run over here on their lunch break, the only freaking lunch break they get to do that. Like I said, it's all about the artist with me. It's all about them and what makes them comfortable, not me. I could care less. All I am is simply the guy that's throwing the questions. People are tuning in for them, So I want to make it comfortable for them. So we got to figure out that plan method. But I have I have Bert Signs coming on. He's a pretty cool
Yeah,
dude.
we've had Perk.
Yeah, I have him coming on. I have who else has actually like confirmed. It's about it that's confirmed for December. But I'm actually going to be bringing on Pillow Snake this upcoming month. I'm bringing on Primitive Mind and Captain
I've heard
Sino.
of Primitive Mind.
Yeah, I'm going to bring Primitive Mind, Captain Sino, all them on there.
Yeah, I've heard of him. I actually caught one of their shows. I believe they performed with Big Reenie.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
yeah, they performed with Big Reenie that night.
Yeah, so
yeah, you should also reach out to Big Reenie, man.
yeah, definitely will.
It's entertaining. He's very entertaining. He's got a very business mic. He has a very business oriented mindset.
Yeah.
So y'all I think y'all would click and mesh very well.
Definitely, man. But yeah, the Primitive Mind actually is the guy Jackal. Was his rap group.
Oh shit.
Right on.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that group is obviously always welcome on there. I mean, doesn't really make sense to name it after their leader and then be like, oh, but you fuckers can't come on it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And not only that, I love all those guys. Everybody in that band, that's like my family right there. They always have my back. They look out for me. And that's what it's about at the end of the day. And they make good music. I'm not going to sit here and say I know everything about rap or I love rap so much, but I know when good shit is good shit. And I know when somebody works their ass off to make that good shit. So I'll give them the spotlight every freaking time, no matter if I'm into that genre of music or not. The whole point of it is for not only for the fans to learn things about those artists, but for me to learn things that I didn't even know about those artists. I mean, I've known Viberhaven since they first started. I was at their very first show. And I've known them. And then when I interview them, I'm just like, whoa, what the fuck? I didn't even know that. Like, how did I miss that one? Yeah. But that's the thing about it. And so I love doing stuff like that and bringing them on. So at that point, it's right about the time where I'm going to have to make sure everybody else is confirmed. And it's a pain in the ass because
we know.
I know.
Hey man, if you have a little space there for the Bouncing Brains, we greatly appreciate
of
it.
Course.
But moving on, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Of course.
Yeah, man. No, man.
Always be selling.
That's it.
That's it. All the time.
Yep.
Yeah, man. This was. I normally don't say this on air. I normally wait till we get off air, but I feel fucking great saying this was entertaining, inspiring, and it was great having you on.
Yeah,
you're an inspiration, dude, and thank you for taking me out of my shitty mood. I greatly appreciate that.
No problem,
I really
brother.
do, man. And just like you said earlier, this is the first time we have you on. We for damn sure hope that it's not the last time.
Yeah.
And you're welcome here anytime as well.
Awesome. Yeah.
Anytime, man.
Definitely, man.
This was fucking awesome. I mean, we can do this off camera, but whenever you got more details on your show, I mean, aside from whatever you're gonna shout out again right now, let me know. I'd like to, if I'm locking down 2 shows in December.
Yeah.
Is that a weekend? It's the 16th?
Yes, it's a Saturday. It's the Saturday after yours.
So I'm gonna tell you this, man. I'm trying to lock down 2 shows in December.
Yeah.
So far, I think one of them is I have San Antonio on the 16th. I haven't locked it down for sure yet, but if I don't, give me. I mean, if that's all I need to know that it's at Stokely's on the 16th.
Yeah.
I'd like to go, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'd like to go for sure. So it'd be cool. I just need to make sure if I don't have anything going on and I'm in town. Yeah, I'd definitely like to go.
All right, definitely, man. That would be very, very cool.
Awesome.
Quick question: are there is the Jackal's Corner running reruns on on RGV Titan? Or okay.
Yeah, they do have them on there. You can also
I know they have the Podbean as well.
You
right?
can also go to Podbean and check it out. When you look on Podbean, it just goes by the date. And if you look on it through actual Titan Radio's site, then it'll actually tell you what the guest is.
Right on. RGVTitanRadio.com.
Yes.
I know we asked you this earlier on, but I've got short-term memory problems. Any social media, any contacts, whatever you want to put out there, man.
Yeah, man. Just look for me on Facebook, Steven Longoria. You can't miss my ugly mug, so it's there.
Hey, man, you look like a fucking serial killer in the fucking... When you requested me, I was like, who the fuck is this? But then I was like, Steve, it sounds familiar. And then I asked Sean, and he was like, oh, yeah, Jackal's core. I was like, all right, cool.
Yes.
So I got you.
Yeah, so you can find me there. Or just hit me up on Jackal's Corner's fan page, and I will get right back to you guys. Pretty much there.
You got pretty great response time, too. When I text you and shit, you don't take fucking 4 hours to fucking get back like other guests.
Nah.
Other guests have gotten like back to me like days later and shit. So
guests, co-hosts, whatever.
Yeah, that too. But you got a problem with, and I understand that problem. But there's people that I maybe they do have problems I don't know about. But yeah, they take forever to fucking reach back out to me. So thank you for getting at me in a timely manner. It was very easy to book this.
Definitely.
So yeah, man. If you don't have anything else. Y'all can find me not everywhere on social media, but on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Freddy G.
You can find me at hatfieldstandup@gmail.com, as well as Hatfield Standup on Facebook and Twitter. Still working on the Pornhub account. You can find the audio versions of any of the episodes of this podcast at shoutengine.com/bouncingbrains. You can listen to new episodes premiering RGVTitanRadio.com. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. New episodes on Friday at 9 a.m. And you can find the video version of this podcast at YouTube. Search for Bouncing Brains. Please, if you enjoy, hit subscribe. We're trying to get that custom URL. I do not like hexadecimal codes. What else? If you want to reach out and get in touch with us, if you do interesting things and would like to talk interesting conversations, Bouncing Brains Podcast at gmail.com, as well as Bouncing Brains Podcast on Facebook, Bouncing Brains on Twitter and Instagram. Steven, it was beautiful having you, brother.
Definitely.
Thank you all for listening.
Thank you.
Until next time, keep it tight.
Nice.